Coast wine scene, and award-winning food entrepreneur. I know a lot of you
That's different between program and external. Programs running straight to the board. Externals, that's why I'm trying to check out the static, why it's going on.
Stuart Reb Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef. I was the chef de casserole. I made the casseroles in the frozen food department. For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. 4-time Taste Award finalists, 12-time Nephew Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining. Keep screaming for more. Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Hey, we're always doing that here on Sunday morning on the Sip and Chew show on this little steamy, warm
Oh yeah,
Sunday morning.
it's already funky outside.
Oh, the heat index.
So you can hear the sun crackling.
Yeah, hear it right now. I can hear
it's
it right
just
now.
sizzling.
So, anyway, welcome to the Sip and Chew show. Got a little scratchiness going on, but
Well, it is the allergy season.
yeah, it is, even for studio equipment. So, anyway, we're gonna try to have an interesting show today,
Yeah,
maybe.
or not. Yeah. Steve's
So
over there furiously typing away, so hopefully it clears up there.
hopefully we can get through this.
We got it quiet.
It's whenever you talk. No, it's whenever I talk. Anyway, so Sue, how was your week this week?
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good. It's hot.
mine was too. It's a little warm, steamy. I just can't stand this humidity, which I know everybody can.
And it isn't even cranked up yet.
But that new air conditioner we got at home at the house, it works because this is a heat pump. I had a heat pump about 20 plus years ago,
Mhm.
and I wasn't too thrilled with it. But this one, even after the AC part cuts off, it still runs to pull the humidity out of the house.
Mhm.
And man, it works good. It really does.
Good.
It's hopefully we're getting our $14,000 out of it. So,
My God.
you buy a house, and 3 months later, you got to put a brand new AC system out.
Hey, there's a reason why the people were selling the house.
That may be, hey, look at it. Hey, sound like a professional
Pretty
DJ.
fancy now. Listen to the bass.
How's that sound? Hey, that sounds good and clean.
Less crackly, Steve.
Well, it's, you're listening,
Is it temporary?
yeah, well, no, we're listening through the board as in where it's called program,
Oh.
whereas normally we monitor through external of what the listeners hear. So that's what they're hearing. I'm trying to,
Oh,
So all that
That way-
crackling, they weren't hearing?
they're
They just-
hearing.
Oh, okay.
Now you're not.
Oh,
So
well.
I'm trying to work on the outside.
Well, that's one of the benefits of being a celebrity, right, Mike? We're crackle free.
yeah.
In
no-
studio.
Yeah.
The song FM, no static at all.
Yeah.
Who was that? Steely Dan?
Steely Dan. Off
Yeah,
the FM soundtrack.
yeah.
God, you're old.
I'm reminiscing.
Yeah.
I've been
Not to
reminiscing
be
all morning.
confused with UHF, the great Weird Al Yankovic movie,
That's it.
which featured the line, "Buy a car from me or I'll club this baby seal."
Oh, Lordy mercy, mercy, mercy. So anyway,
Hey, after last week's show, you know what I had? I left here and had?
what'd you have?
I went to Waffle House, got some hash browns.
I saw that. You did post that. What did I do?
I went home and
I
took a
don't even
nap.
remember this morning. Sometimes, but I think we grilled steaks on Sunday. So
No hash browns?
no hash browns. I think we had Bob Evans garlic mashed potatoes.
Oh,
So,
fancy.
I love them Bob Evans, man. They're good stuff.
You
They're
ever
quick.
eaten at a Bob Evans?
As a matter of fact, 2020, I was looking at yesterday because yesterday was Prince's birthday, and I remember going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I took a picture of his guitar
Yeah.
and a picture of him, and I posted, commemorating his birthday, and but we were going to is it Camden or Canton, Ohio,
Canton, yeah,
to the Football Hall of Fame.
right. Pro Football Hall of
And,
Fame. Not NFL Hall of Fame.
no.
Pro Football Hall.
Well, it's actually not pro football, but they have pro football. It's just football Hall of Fame.
Is that what
Now,
it says there?
They got they got all football, any and all football. They take you through the history of it, the sport. And they even got football in there. So, so we were going in, we had breakfast at Bob Evans on our way there. And you get there and you look down the interstate and there's a like bigger than life yellow goalpost way off in the distance. And there's power lines. And they had power lines that look like goalposts.
That's very cool.
That is. We had to go by there after we got through 4 hours later.
Yeah.
You know, because it takes about 4 hours to go through that thing, just like the World War II Museum and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, man, good stuff, good times.
Yeah. Well, for those who are South locked as opposed to landlocked, they're South locked. They never leave the South. Bob Evans is the Midwestern version of Cracker Barrel. I honestly like it a lot better than Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
It was very good. Cracker Barrel has, especially of late, just not lived up to what it used to be. And again, like my dad used to describe it back when they first came out, Cracker Barrel tastes like Yankees trying to do something.
Kind of like a Yankee trying to pull off a Southern accent.
Yeah. Gosh, Hollywood cannot do a Southern accent.
No, they can't.
Steve just figured out the mute button on his laptop.
Oh, the volume, yeah.
And so why the technology day today?
Yeah, we're technically challenged today.
Yeah, and I mentioned it last week that they were one of the pioneers of the whole bowl thing. They had those hash brown breakfast bowls back in the early 90s. And, yeah, I like Bob Evans. So it's more than just that sausage you see in the grocery store, folks.
Well, I haven't seen any sausage in the grocery store, but I mean, I have seen the mashed potatoes. They got like 5 different varieties of their mashed potatoes, but I like the garlic mashed potatoes. They're good.
Yeah. I guess you could say like Boston Market was a extreme Yankee version. Of course, I don't think Boston Market still exists, except in frozen food departments.
Yeah.
But I used to eat at the Boston Market in Nashville all the time. It was pretty good. I mean, the main thing I got was Yankee pot roast. That's cool to be able to walk into a place and get pot roast.
I can't remember where maybe it's Tallahassee last time I ate at Boston Market. First time and last time.
Well, since we're talking about chain restaurants, I watched a really interesting video this week. Most chain restaurants in this country are failing.
Oh,
as they should, because their business model is stupid. Build, build, build. That's not always the right thing to do. Big, huge menus. Chili's is booming right now. It's one of the most popular restaurant chains in the world right now because they got a new CEO. And what did he do? He stepped in. He said, problem we're having is our menus are too big. We're going to do a burger. We're going to do a chicken sandwich. He said, we were doing 2 kinds of chicken tenders. One was in Japanese panko and the rest were traditional batter. So we looked at the numbers. Only 20% were getting the Asian style chicken. Let's get it out of here. Just get rid of it. And that's what they did. They took all mom and pop approach and put it on an entire chain. And it's saving the chain. Because Chili's supposed to bankrupt. Folks, the restaurant chains that may not survive the next year would shock you. McDonald's as a corporation. Burger King as a corporation.
Burger King's had problems throughout the last couple of
days.
And
McDonald's has been suffering too. That's why they initially went to the breakfast all day thing. Because nobody was going there anytime for breakfast. Hardee's is the same issue, Hardee's/Carl's Jr. And the thing that saved Hardee's, the thick burger, doing a restaurant style burger, well, of course, they got rid of that. So they're probably not going to be here in a year.
I wonder because
Pizza Hut, the largest pizza maker in the world, may not be here a year from now. Simply because they got too big. They had to, anytime, the larger you get, the lower your quality is going to be. It's a handoff.
You're diluting it.
Yeah, there's no way to do it. I always give the example of Sonny's Barbecue, which we all admit is okay barbecue. Well, the original Sonny's in Jacksonville, Florida was probably fantastic. But Georgia has a different barbecue style than Jacksonville, and Alabama does, and Mississippi, and you better believe Texas and Kansas and all these other places do. So they dumbed down what they originally did to make it generic. And now the quality is not what it was when it was one restaurant in Jackson.
251-343-0106. When we come back, I'm going to expand on what Stu's talked about a little bit more.
All right, good.
Make me happy.
Let me back in.
Make me feel fine.
Make me feel fine.
Imagine working for a local Talk 1065 is hiring a motivated sales associate to join the passionate team.
All of you that cleared up.
Info at fmtalk1065.com.
Our Broadcast LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Love your boat, but need to repower? Start your outboard search at George's Water Sports, an authorized Suzuki outboard service, parts, and accessories dealer. You'll find a large selection of motors in stock, or have George's sales staff order from the full Suzuki engine line. Call today to ask about the current extended warranty offers and rebates. 48 years of excellent service, support, and satisfaction. Visit George's Water Sports at 1301 Lamar on Facebook and at georgeswatersports.net.
Tune in to Retire Right Radio with Paul Roberts.
Let's make sure that no matter how old and wise you grow in life, that you don't grow old and broke.
Paul is the president and chief wealth advisor
sounds
of
better.
Roberts Wealth Management.
These are some of the largest life-changing decisions you'll ever make in your lifetime. I want to make as many memories from 62 to 82 as I can.
Tune in to Retire Right
Not
Radio
bad.
with Paul Roberts. Saturdays at 3 p.m. right here
Well,
on FM Talk 1065.
It isn't what's going out over the air.
Owe over
So I'll-
$10,000 in back taxes. You
It isn't
call
what's
every
going
tax
out over
firm
the
there.
air.
They all say the
So
same
what I'll
thing,
do is I'll
making
run through
promises they
programs
never
so that-
keep, and you're sick of it. What you really need is
You
a
guys
new
have-
start on your back taxes. If your Facebook garnishments, levies, audits, or years of unfiled tax returns will fight to get you the new start you deserve. Call 1-800-266-1432. Our New Start program will stop collection efforts, remove any liens the IRS has in place, and help you reduce your back taxes by as much as
I was just telling him,
80%.
Stu,
That's
that
right,
it's not
80%.
the actual
Don't wait
station,
until
how
another
it sounds.
tax season ends and another
They
year
got
of
rabbit
penalties
ears in there,
interest are
and that's
added to
what
your
the
balance.
monitor
If you owe at
that they're
least
pumping in
$10,000
through here that
to
we
the
hear.
IRS,
So
on
obviously
your
that's
back
why
taxes,
we've got the
call
static, but I'll run it through programs so that you have the
1-800-266-1432.
clear.
That's 1-800-266-1432.
You're not distracted by it.
Let the professionals take
I'm a professional, man. I can control it.
Get you the
And
new
Mike's
start
the D.
you deserve.
And there's a
Again,
different
that's
radio
1-800-266-1432.
Static.
I'm just going by what dogs do.
That's what dogs do.
The antennas in here.
Oh, no, you're right.
Opening your becoming
That way you got a little bit different volume, too.
Alabama. I know so many folks that are. They tell me it's one of the greatest things they've ever done.
To learn more about becoming a foster or adopted parent, visit dhr.alabama.gov.
Hearing louder or
That's
whatever.
dhr.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters
internet?
Association, and this station.
Zucchini, but
Hello again, friends. I'm Randy Burke,
Fat
inviting you
Elvis.
to join me, Coach Rick Cleveland,
You'll
and
explain.
Coach Mark
Yeah.
Lassie for the Thompson Tractors Prep Sports Report. We'll be coming to you live from the Eastern Shore Toyota and Hyundai Studios for 2 hours beginning at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. We'll visit with coaches, athletes, administrators, and more. As we'll keep you up to date on all things prep along the Gulf Coast.
Oh, they
and the
wear
state
it
of
out on
Alabama.
Saturday.
Wake up with the Prep Sports
It's
Report
tired.
team this Saturday
We've
morning
done it for
starting at
25
8
years. It's tired.
on FM Talk 1065.
Here we go.
Turn up your voice online. Follow
That was
FM Talk 1065 by searching Twitter at FM Talk 1065. Feeding breaking news, weather, traffic, and opinion. Plus your replies. Find us at twitter.com at FM Talk 1065. Mike Bailey, Stuart Reb Donald. Devoted to the complete gastronomic experience.
Want a big butter and egg man.
Mike and Stu.
Big
on
butt.
FM Talk 1065.
My
Did that-
question.
Did that bump right there say feeding breaking news? What do you feed breaking news? Lunchables?
I don't know. I do know.
Before you gentlemen, you have a piece of fat Elvis bread.
Elvis bread.
Fat Elvis bread.
Flavor remote.
Adams.
Flavor
Bananas,
Nanners.
Oh,
peanut
butter.
butter chips,
Peanut butter. Like
and bacon.
Like
Oh.
and bacon?
Yeah. This is my first attempt making it. The bacon kind of gets lost. I think probably bigger pieces instead of the smaller bacon bits, so that you could get an actual chunk of bacon and gnaw on it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's not pronounced.
More
but
like
the
a
rest of
banana,
it's great.
more like a banana nut bread almost,
Yeah,
but
But
not
with
quite,
those, yeah, with those peanut butter chips digging in there.
not quite zucchini.
Yeah, except the,
Good though.
or since the accident that I had where they took out 5 feet of colon, duct taped the rest back together, my doctor had told me that before the accident, I was developing diverticulitis.
Ooh.
And that because of the accident, I would probably develop it later on. For those who don't know, diverse diseases, there's diverticulosis, diverticulitis. Probably everyone sitting in this room right now has some going on. It is pockmarks on the inside of your intestines, just from years of you eating stuff. And seeds and broken up pieces of nuts will get caught in those little pockmarks and get infected. And Mike knows I had a little rush to the hospital about 2 months ago, and I'm thinking it was because I got sick in the middle of the night and threw up my blood pressure medicine. So it was a high blood pressure event. And I went to the hospital for. So I've started backing off on the nuts and seeds, which I absolutely love. They're incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
And so
That'd be tough for
this
me.
is peanut butter chips. Well, you can still have those foods, Steve. You just have to avoid the little pieces. So
Right.
maybe I don't eat as much pecan pie, but I can make a pecan butter and make a pie from that.
Wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he first talked to me about it, I started looking through ways because I absolutely love nuts. I love berries, but strawberries and raspberries, those little seeds,
Right.
are an issue. The poppy seeds on a bun, sesame seeds on a bun, can be an issue.
Kiwi.
So
That's what I was about to say, kiwi seeds.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of backed off that in there. Like when I want raspberry now, I use a raspberry seedless jam, more like the Polar, where it's just fruit and pectin and there's no added sugar.
Right.
So I still get all the flavors and everything. I do lose that texture. So I went with the peanut butter chips instead of actual nuts and
Really
banana bread.
Not bad. I like it.
But I do want the bacon to be more pronounced.
I was gonna say, yeah, and the peanut butter's kind of lost in there.
Yeah, it's just peanut butter chips. I just want
Yeah.
that little punch every now and then.
Yeah.
But I went to Piggly Wiggly last week. All these new grocery stores coming to town.
Aldi.
Give me Piggly Wiggly. Better prices, better selection, better quality. And that's what I'm finding.
Great people.
Yeah. I did try the new Aldi and Sims. Not for me. Aldi is designed for those people who eat the same 5 or 6 meals every night of the week, every week, their entire life. And that's
like it was
fine.
when I was a kid.
And in bulk.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It is not a place for people who like my 2 favorite things, selection and quality.
Right.
Their quality is not terrible. It's just not great. It's mediocre. Their prices are higher than most of the
Now,
places
when you're
around for
talking
the same time.
quality on items like fresh produce or meats.
No, I'm not a fan of their produce and meat section at all.
Okay.
And most people aren't. But their organic produce is cheaper than anywhere else in town. So there's life is a series of trade-offs.
Sure.
See, I like meats and vegetables, produce. I like to buy it the day I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
I like it fresh.
I loved when I lived right next to a grocery store and I could drive home from work, park my car, walk to the grocery store, get my groceries for the night, walk back home because it was 100 yards.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But yeah, I'd much rather buy if you don't have a family that you have to plan meals for, just like somebody running a platoon of soldiers. It's silly to go in and buy groceries one day a week and spend $300 or $400.
I agreed.
Yeah. And then because you always end up with food going bad, with food in your pantry that goes past the expiration date. Just buy what you need when you need it. When you're buying for 1 or 2
Like
people.
romaine lettuce.
Right.
You can buy romaine lettuce with 3 heads in the bag. And then you end up throwing two of them away.
Unless you grill
Well, I know that.
them.
But
Never heard of that.
I never know what my day's going to throw at me. And if I try to plan meals ahead of time, and I buy the stuff, something always happens, and I never get to eat those meals.
Or
And
a craving gets you.
Yeah. Well, I go and walk in the store, walk down the aisle, say, all right, and I just look at the meat case, look at the produce, and say,
See what's on special, see what sounds good.
see what seems good. Sounds good, and then I buy them.
Right.
And my grandfather was that way. He wouldn't eat any meat that been in the refrigerator overnight. he wanted it fresh from the grocery store that day.
Mhm.
That'd been probably set days. And
Well,
this
he
is
probably grew up in an era where
Mhm.
the refrigerator was a box with
He
a
did.
huge chunk of ice in the
It
bottom.
did. It did. So, but that's the way I am. And to be honest with you, nothing against Aldi. I don't get it.
It's not for me.
It's not for me.
But the people that love it do love it because
Oh,
it
they
gives
do.
them exactly what they're looking
They
for.
do.
There are two types of people in the world. There are live to eaters. That's you and I. We live to have a good meal.
Mhm.
And then there's eat to livers, which are people that are like, they find the whole process annoying, that they have to stop 3 or 4 times during the course of their day and put food inside of them that's just going to make them go to the bathroom later and take more time out of their day.
Yeah.
I see their whole point of view. That, you know, the eating is just an annoyance.
I enjoy grazing more than I do sitting down and just having a meal. Well, I do like my lunch.
I'm one of those. It's a necessary evil.
Some
Yeah.
lunch.
But I've got a buddy that if his wife made him a tuna fish sandwich for every meal, he would eat a tuna fish sandwich for every meal.
Lunch is a socializing thing for me.
Hmm.
It really is. And regardless where I eat, where I do, I'm gonna see somebody I know and we're gonna talk and yada yada yada. And collect thoughts for the day and kind of plan the rest of my day while I'm at lunch. And I take my time eating lunch. I really do. I got that from the Europeans and when I was been in their areas and
Right.
dinner. I like to cook it, eat it, clean up, and go and get done with it, and not sit around the table.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Supper.
dinner, supper.
Dinner, dinner down here, supper at home.
Yeah. Well, the selection thing at Aldi bothers me. There's one brand of anything.
Yeah.
I went in, I was just like, man, Friday is usually frozen pizza day for me. Or I'll get a fresh one, Sim's House of Pizza or someplace. But usually I can get a frozen pizza at Dollar General for $3.95.
Hmm.
So cheapest thing I could find at Aldi was $4.
Wow.
And it was a brand I've never heard of. And they had all different varieties of frozen pizza,
Mhm.
but just from that one brand. And that's the way the whole thing was. For me, that's not okay. I don't like DiGiorno's pizza because they're very unhealthy. They use a gas in them to make them rise. It's a major carcinogen. Freshetta pulls off the exact same pizza just using the natural carbon dioxide emissions that come from baking bread.
I didn't know that. I mean, I used to like bruschetta on
I
the
like
self-rising.
Freshetta.
Yeah.
But the DiGiorno, because of the gas that they add into it to make it rise better,
Huh.
it's
But that's my beef there is any kind of self-rising,
mm,
never in the middle. It's kind of like the old pan pizza
because
with
it's
Pizza Hut.
frozen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just even when I was managing Pizza Hut, we would do the little pan pizzas, and still you'd have that little
Yeah,
pocket in the middle of dough and not
Steve,
done.
you know as well as I do, Pizza Hut, everything came in a bag of dry. You added water to it.
Right.
The sauce
Yeah.
was a powder you added water to.
Yes.
The crust was a powder that you added water to. So now Chicago deep dish pizza, whole different story.
Yes.
Lou Malnati's, oh my gosh, that place is heaven. Mike, they even have a pizza for you for dessert.
Really?
Yeah. They take an iron skillet, about a 4 or 5 inch, and just press chocolate chip cookie dough into it.
Yep.
Bake it in that thing and then gussy it up like a sundae when they, oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
thing is so good.
And rich.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, what my favorite store bought brand pizza is. It's the Walmart. As you walk in the door, they
Oh, yeah, the
all
fresh, no, that's not
fresh.
frozen, that's a fresh made pizza.
Yeah, fresh made.
Yeah, so that
Deli
really
made.
is a different,
I don't like frozen pizzas. I'd rather walk in the
I've got some
Walmart,
brands for
walk
you.
there and get the one with all the meat and all the vegetables on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. I like the thin crust.
251-343-0106 if you want to tell Mike your favorite topping on pizza.
Pineapple. Pineapple. Very good, sir.
Trying to bring the thing of the history of Hawaiian pizza. Who's invented in Canada? That's why it's got fucking Canadian bacon on it. Something they don't eat in Hawaii.
This information update brought to you by
Pineapple, which
Lewis
they don't eat in
Construction,
Hawaii. They
delivering
grow it. They
unparalleled
don't eat it.
value and quality
It's
on
not
new
from
construction
Hawaii.
and commercial and
Southeast
industrial
Asia.
applications. Roy Lewis Construction,
Right, yeah,
building
down there,
legacies,
Joe.
one relationship at a time. Licensed in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi.
That was Mr.
FM
James
Talk
Buss, my
1065.
producer.
The Gulf Coast
I did a series recently on pirates that patrolled the Mobile Bay. And the last one was Jimmy Butler, modern day pirate. And I just re-showed the clip of the second line.
Few showers and thunderstorms, lows to mid-70s, and for Monday, showers and thunderstorms are likely with highs in the upper
Atmospheric
80s.
conditions.
Speed run
That's
is time
good.
to do it,
FM Talk
Had Aurora Borealis
The Gulf Coast weather.
that showed up
Sahara
in
dust.
Alabama recently. So yeah, I'd say the sun's active.
It's we used to have something when I was looking at KSC, and I know they still do.
Yeah.
But
The Sahara dust.
shooting, when we would, because you shoot across that bay,
Yeah.
and nobody ever thinks about it, but that water.
That's
conducts.
Yeah.
We used to, people would call out from Baldwin County, we can't hear you, problems with your signal. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Is Ken still alive?
Vince Legger with Legger
Is
Farm
Ken still
Market
alive?
in Gaffney for what's on
Ken
the farm
owns,
this week.
NSP and,
What else are you?
The old man, the old man?
oh no. Yeah,
He's still alive?
yeah, he owns,
I know his brother, his son's running.
they're moving right over here.
Oh, really?
Yep, right over in this building between, not the one after Waffle House, but this
Where
one
they
right
can
next
find
door.
So all of them.
All, I'm sure, yeah, that whole group.
NSP was the first
There you go, Vince
24/7
Legger, and that
FM
is what's
sports
on the
talk
farm
show in
this
the
week,
nation,
Legger
radio
Farm
station
Market.
nation, and now it's for work.
Ron Anthony used to be there, and he was, Ron Anthony, when he was at WFB, I loved him.
No one can explain to me why Lee Shervanian still has a job. Everyone that listens to that station despises him.
He is American.
Oh, yeah. I've heard
People
it.
hated Howard Cosell too, but
Yes. But people listening on TV love Howard Cosell. Fans love him. Nobody that listens to NSP likes Lee Shervanian. And it's not necessarily the personality, his voice.
Brought to you by
Yeah, it's just, it's horrible for radio.
Distribution.
And he's got that thing where if he mispronounces your name wrong the first time, there's no correcting
Yeah,
it. He's just gonna do it like that forever, Mike Davis.
I listen to Paul Feinbaum.
I worked with him on
Another one.
He's not done well.
So did John Dillinger till he died.
Michael Berry Show.
That's America.
Weekdays
We're
at
gonna have
6.
Mother and apple pie and a malt.
Merv.
That's equal parts meat and bun.
Michael Berry
No, that's the ratio of meat over bun.
on Mobile's FM Talk
We'll get back.
1065.
Talking about Chili's.
For a better
I'm
than
talking about smash
Dip
burger.
and chew with
I got a
Perkins
question.
Stew
I have a question.
on
Okay.
FM Talk
Ask the chef.
1065.
We got a caller. Hey, Stu, earlier,
Hey, Michael.
we were talking about, chain restaurants and
Right.
such, and we were talking about Chili's.
Mhm.
That seems to be that thing they're doing now, that what they're working out now seems to be like less is more, and
Right.
probably less is better. I
Yeah.
have a sister-in-law has two sisters. They're identical twins. One of them went to work as a waitress at Chili's outside of Dallas. There, she has worked her way up. She's in the
Yeah,
corporate
Chili's
office
is from
now.
Texas. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Brinker, she's with Brinker International.
I guess so, but she works in the, she's like an area director now, and she's done well with them. And she is really proud of how they've done their company, and with all these chains that are shutting down,
Yeah,
and she is really proud. And she posts it on her Facebook page, and how well they treat her, how well they treat the employees. There is no perfect scenario for
Right.
everybody.
right.
But overall, in the big picture, they seem to do a really good job with their employees and promote within.
One of the things they had Brinker International offered, I've worked for two different Brinker chains. I worked for Chili's up in Nashville. I worked for Macaroni Grill here in Mobile full time.
I love that place.
Not a microwave in the restaurant. They don't do microwave food in Macaroni Grill.
Mhm.
They don't allow them in there. The bartenders hated it because they couldn't heat up chocolate syrup for chocolate martinis and stuff. But, well, just do it the old fashioned way. Have hot water sit there. But they had this tuition assistance for all college students
Mhm.
that they would help you pay for books and stuff like that. So Brinker The two largest restaurant chains, at least used to be, I don't know currently, were Applebee's, which only owned Applebee's.
Mhm.
And then there was Brinker International, which had Maggio's Pizza, Chili's, Macaroni Grill, and oh man, it seems like another Italian concept. But On the Border Cafe,
Okay.
another Mexican concept.
Okay, yeah, I've eaten at those.
Yeah, and On the Border Cafe. And Applebee's was kind of like the model you didn't want to follow. The totalitarian, you buy everything from us. You're paying more for your ingredients than you would if you sourced them locally, but hey, we're making gobs of money.
Mhm.
And the franchisees may or may not make money, but the company makes money.
Mhm.
More restaurants than anybody else all across the world. Then Brinker was they found some choice individual restaurants. Chili's is an example. It started with a couple of frat boys in Texas who had a burger bar. They liked the concept. They purchased the concept from them. And that is how Brinker built theirs. And they've done a pretty good job with brand management and stuff like that. And then there's a third big wheel in that. That's Darden out of Florida, which it was Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Pier 17, Smoky Bones.
Mhm. Oh, Smoky Bones. It was, yeah.
Yeah, Smoky Bones. We never got the barbecue because it was mediocre, but they had a bison burger, which was awesome
Mhm.
and healthy. Tastes better than beef burger, and it's better for you than chicken.
Yeah.
So
I just get perturbed with these restaurants that try to be everything to everybody.
and that
And you
was
can't be.
Applebee's. That's
You cannot be
Applebee's menu.
everything
And I
to
use that example because some people go, should a restaurant have something on the menu for everybody? No. If you're craving chicken tenders, everybody else is going to a seafood restaurant. Either eat seafood or ditch them.
Mhm.
Go get your chicken tenders. Go to Fusakli's. But Applebee's is the example of they have something on the menu for everyone, but nothing you really get excited about.
Mhm.
It's all mediocre.
Mhm.
Brinker didn't do that. They kind of held their standard. But as you have people come into these corporations that own restaurants, the people running the corporations are not restaurant people in many cases.
Mhm.
They're marketing people.
Yeah. But
Marketing is terrible food.
pencil pushers.
Right. This is popular. Let's put this on it. And you can see that with your fast foods,
And-
Burger King and Subway. All of a sudden, they put
I
sriracha.
want everybody to know we're not slamming all these places.
No, we're showing.
They've made some bad business
Yeah.
decisions.
They
I remember the Applebee's here, both of them that we
Yeah.
had here, one on Airport, one on 9. They had karaoke. When I'm eating, I don't want to hear karaoke.
Yeah. Right. I'll go to a place specialized in karaoke. That's because they were struggling.
Yeah.
And
They're grasping
I can,
everything.
well, I can get into the particulars of that because I worked for those particular owners. They weren't interested in the Mobile market. They didn't care about the Mobile market.
Mhm.
They were forced to purchase Mobile if they wanted all those beach locations and at Ocean Springs and along the Florida coast, Panhandle. So it was a package deal. You take these and the Foley in Alabama, or you can't have any of these.
Mhm.
And they spent no money on maintenance. If a store was supposed to have 5 managers, by rule they only had 4. We'll save that $36,000 a year. They're supposed to have 28 servers. They wouldn't let you hire more than 25. You're supposed to have 17 cooks. They kept it at 15 because they didn't care whether the stores were profitable or not. They weren't going to make the money as 9 Mile Road over in Pensacola, which is one of the busiest restaurants in America.
Mhm.
So Brinker is the contrast of that. They took care of that, but still they had people that got in charge of the company who were not restaurateurs. They were business people, and regular business principles do not work on the restaurant industry. Simple as that.
Got a caller. Cookie's talking about vegetarian pizza, kind of linking to the
Hey.
earlier conversation.
Yeah.
Cookie, you're on the air.
I love a good veggie pizza, but it's got to have jalapeno on it. Isn't that right, Cookie? We're having difficulties hearing you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're. Wow. Okay.
All right.
Sorry, Cookie.
Well,
Can't even hear you.
One of the things I've found as I've gotten older, getting on her thing with the veggie pizza, get a vegetarian pizza and then add a little bit of pepperoni or a little bit of sausage to it. You'll be surprised at how little you notice the difference. And it's a lot healthier that way. And then you can slip in things like turkey pepperoni, which if you're eating it straight out of the package, not as good, but on a pizza with a bunch of other stuff, it's just fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's going to cut down on fat and cholesterol if that turkey pepperoni. It does it fairly well. It does not hold in your refrigerator as long. I found out the hard way recently. Once you open that package, you maybe got a week and a half and it starts growing its own beard. But Luke loved it. But you could do things like that. You could get the turkey ground sausage. You can get the turkey smoked sausage. You could still have pizza. But like I say, you load it up with vegetables and man, diced tomatoes. Why would you not put that on pizza? It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Spinach is great. Fresh torn basil. I don't like cheese pizza, but I love margarita, which is essentially a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
But they really just throw themselves into those three ingredients. Really good tomatoes or a bomb tomato sauce, fresh basil, fresh buffalo mozzarella, the stringy stuff.
Yeah.
Like Pete's dad makes for him every day at Panini Pete's.
Yeah.
3 ingredients. Those are phenomenal pizza. And I've gone into pizza places and go, do you do a margarita? No, we don't. How do you call yourself a gourmet pizza place?
For real.
With no margarita.
Let me tell you what, to name drop here.
Okay. Drop it there.
Rich Cambino.
I know it. I've dropped
Pizzeria
it.
Delfina.
Oh, great place.
I go in there and I see a plain cheese pizza sitting there.
Because he's doing a great
And you know
sauce and a
what?
great cheese.
Yeah. And you know what? He lets
Fresh
me
meat.
put whatever I want on there.
Yeah.
So I started out with a canvas of just plain
Mhm.
cheese. And I've got sausage, I got pepperoni, I got peppers, I got onions, and probably a little olives. And he'll throw those on there.
The olives are good.
Stick them in the oven. Boom.
Yeah.
I get 2 little slices of, 2 big slices of pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm good for the day.
And feta cheese is phenomenal on pizza. And you can use that fat-free feta because,
You're eating a pizza. What do you need fat free for?
well, here's the deal, man. Pizza can either be an extremely healthy meal
Yeah.
or it can be one of the worst things you can eat. And if it's delicious, why wouldn't you want to eat it as long as you can?
Yeah.
So you lean out. Hey, every now and then, yeah, I'm going for meat lovers. Yeah, I'm going to pack my veins.
I want everything. I want everything on mine. You want to try the cookie again?
No, I was going to say, matter of fact, speaking of tomatoes, I got a question via text. It says, Stu, if you got lots of Roma tomatoes, what is the best way to preserve them?
Roma tomatoes had the least amount of acidity of any tomatoes out there. They're really good for people with acid reflux. But yeah, they'll make a good marinara or just a relish. But yeah, just make a marinara and then jar it. Yeah. And now I'm talking the real jarring where you, vacuum. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Right now is a good time to be doing
Yeah.
that with all these fresh tomatoes coming out. Make
Yeah.
your own marinara.
Yeah. Or just, crush the tomatoes, add some garlic and basil to it and seal it like that. And then you cook it when you cook it.
Okay.
You don't have to cook it down now.
And we got Paul from Grand Bay on the line. Paul, how are you?
Paul, how are you?
Doing great. I'm just coming in on your pizza thing. I'm probably gonna make everybody mad.
No.
Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna make Mike mad though. I think it's almost an abomination to eat a daggum vegetarian pizza. Put some meat on there. And I don't care if it's the marinara or the Alfredo sauce. But I will tell you this: I do like pineapple on my pizza.
Me too, man.
It is good, especially if you throw the jalapenos on there too. And this is
Yeah,
gonna
gotta
make
have the
everybody
jalapenos.
mad.
Yeah.
This is gonna make everybody mad. Believe it or not, it was my Yankee sister-in-law that turned me on to put Catalina dressing on it, or my favorite, creamy Caesar.
Now, the creamy Caesar makes more sense. The Catalina actually started in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm trying to remember, Sicily's Pizza. It was a dare on spring break with some Ole Miss students who were down at the beach during spring break. And like in the 1960s or 70s. I mean, this goes back a long time. And either Catalina or French dressing, either one of them, which they're very similar. I don't know what the difference is other than the name.
I think what it is, Stu, is that vinegar.
Yeah.
Kind of throws something in there that, okay, like don't belong, kind of like pineapple, but it does belong. But yeah, I was just going to throw it out. I didn't know if I was going to make everybody mad.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the
Not me.
people that like pineapple and spices, and I mean mushrooms too. You could throw all.
Oh
the
God,
vegetables,
yeah.
Yeah, love that.
You know, but I mean, I like it loaded, and maybe it's not good for you, but that's, you only eat it once a month, maybe.
Right, exactly. Everything in moderation, including moderation.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, thanks.
Paul,
thanks
we're
for the
gonna, man, you're gonna start a pineapple movement, buddy.
251-343-0106. He's right about that. You can't have the pineapple without the jalapeno. You can't have the pineapple without the jalapeno. That's the only thing. I do a Hawaiian pizza. I don't use marinara. I use that Mayploy sweet chili sauce and no ham, fry spam.
You got me wanting to make my own marinara now.
It's easy to do.
I know. We did it at Pizza Ranch. We bought it, so.
Another text was talking about his favorite pizza is Hunt Brothers Pizza.
You gotta appreciate Hunt in that there's not an actual restaurant
Yeah,
anywhere.
Only a convenience store.
It's good. It's a convenience store. Grab you a quick little.
They say the one down there, Range Line and Hamilton Boulevard, the gas station there, they said that has the best Hunt's pizza.
We
But
were
they have
driving back
chicken
and
here,
forth
so
to.
why am I gonna get the Hunt pizza?
We were driving back and forth to Gonzalez Pizza.
Got an account manager that comes out
That
multiple
was
times throughout the
the
year, but then we
Hunt
got a long
Brothers
line of
pizzas
professionals
forever.
that make 7
And there was
dishes
only,
throughout the
they
year.
put them in, you know, a
Adding
heater.
extra,
But I mean, you let them sit there long enough, you get rice and crispy. That's just the way.
The pilot station in Satsuma makes pizzas, and they're really good. And I don't know what the price is now, but it used to be if you wanted a cheese pizza, it was $10. If you wanted a meat lovers, it's $10.
Yeah.
If you want a supreme, it's $10.
Yeah.
It's $10 no matter what you want.
There's two brothers out of Atmore that have opened up where Guido's and Vinny's is. It's gonna be Grizzly's Pizza.
Okay.
And then next door will be their hamburger.
What do you know about this new Fried Daddy's in Chickasaw? Just opened up? It's where the Huddle House was, right there on the interstate.
Didn't know about it.
Yeah, maybe you need to stop in and see if they need paper products.
My dad is a hero.
Locally owned,
On short trips,
everything's fresh.
and it's
That's kind of their thing.
basically made for him. My dad
I just saw someone posted in the group yesterday about
he is making
Okay.
it. He can reach
Fried
anything.
Daddy's.
it.
Oh,
Will help me build tiny projects. Life is good.
It's a fry shop.
Back on short trips, we
Yeah,
live
right,
in
mate.
that and hope
there's
that we
a
have all
new
these
barbecue place
features
opening
that
up
help
Fairhope, like,
Homes for our
they
troops
just don't do
built
well in
and
Fairhope. Oh, we got more callers. So
homes
Well,
nationwide
that's too bad. It's the last
I
segment.
just want to ask you real quick.
It enables them
Me
to
and Becky were cooking hamburgers the other day.
They
Just
get
to
a
make,
new
I won't make
house,
smash burger.
help them like
Okay.
They're all smash burgers.
Well, no, they're not.
I know, but in the sense that you flat,
doing our initiative.
everybody rolls their meat in a ball and then they flush it. The only difference is they flatten it on the.
That's what makes it smash burger. A real smash burger, which comes from Chicago and St. Louis, onions go down first, the patty on top, smash it into it, and the onions are burnt before you flip it. And that is so good. That's the way to do a patty.
It's Southern Fairway Sports
Like
Radio
that.
Show, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Right
So you
here.
got cookie calls
FM
in?
Talk 106.5.
Here we go.
Hey, this is Dalton Warwick with Mobile Mornings. Monday at 8:50, Brian Comer from Bias and Comer Law joins me to discuss new car seat regulations going into effect and what to do about product recalls. Tune in to FM Talk 106.5 for Law 251.
Are the dynamic duo of dining. Sip and chew. It's two. Call 343-0106. Now back to Mike.
All right. Stu, I get people send me messages on messengers about this question.
Yeah.
I want to go have a hamburger.
Okay.
And I said, hey, you want to go have a hamburger? Hey, smash burger. You ever heard of smash burger? Let's go get a smash burger.
Yeah.
What the hell is a smash burger? What's the difference between a hamburger and a smash burger?
All right. Most hamburgers, cheeseburgers, we'll use our buddy Roy Seaward as an example. The Butch Burger. You're very familiar. You've had one before, or had 100,000 of them before. That is hand patted, but put in a ring, so it is uniform inside in thickness all the way across.
Okay.
That's a standard way of making a burger, hand patted, you may call it. A smash burger, you start out with a meatball on the grill for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you take 2 spatulas and an X and smash it down. What you get is an uneven burger, but that's what you're going for. It's much thinner than a hand patty burger, and you're going for a lace around the edges that's crispy.
Mhm.
If you've ever cooked a fried egg and you get that crispiness in the edge, that's called a lace there as well.
Okay.
So it's like that. Roy had a run here recently where we got some hamburger meat that for whatever reason wasn't holding together well. Well, that's a charbroiler. That's a problem. A flat grill, it isn't. So what I was ending up with was charbroiled hand patty grills that had that lace around the edge from where the hamburger was falling apart. Probably the best burgers Roy's ever put out because it was that happy medium of both.
Mm-hmm.
A genuine smash burger is not what you get at the train smash burgers. It is from Chicago and St. Louis. They argue as to who created it. But the first thing you put on the grill is a bunch of chopped onions. You put the patty on and you smash the onions into the burger and you cook it on that side until the onions are charred. Then you flip it over.
Okay.
It's a thin burger with the onions embedded in it. And without the onions, it ain't a smash burger. It's just a burger.
Okay.
Of the Chicago St. Louis style. I'll give you an example. You've had a Sonic burger before, right?
Right.
That's uniform thickness. They throw it on the grill. Well, now they've got these stackers that are smash style. And you can see the lace on the edge of them. They are 10 times better than what's on the menu. They are phenomenal. I probably have one about once every other week. They're so good. Slice of cheese on each one, and I get the triple. It's just a quarter-pound patty. Really thin, pressed out, smashed out. Slice of cheese on each patty, and then whatever their burger sauce is, and that's it. So good. I mean, it's absolutely. I remember the first Sonics I went to in the late 80s. They were phenomenal. Their burgers were as good as Whataburger. They were very much like Whataburger. But they went, as we were talking in previous segments, they got bought out by a corporation that cared about profits as opposed to customer experience or quality. And, you know, you see how huge their menu is. But then you go to Whataburger. Essentially, they were putting out the same kind of burger. Whataburger is a smash style burger because you get that thin lace off of it. So good. Really is good.
Steak and Shake has got a smash burger too, don't
Yeah.
they? That's
Yeah,
pretty much
they
your
do a
style.
smash style. Freddy's,
Yeah.
which is out of California. The jalapeno burger that Freddy's does is really good. Everything else is like they're afraid of salt. It's just so bland. But that jalapeno burger is good at Freddy's. I love fast food burgers, good fast food burgers. Dave's Super Burger down in Grand Bay,
Yes.
just terrific. Bertier's in Citronelle, if you haven't had it, it's worth the drive to Citronelle. Either get biscuits for breakfast or a burger for lunch or dinner. They close at 6, so hurry. They're family owned. And so the family's not going to be there from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the night, 7 days a week.
Right.
So they do just through the dinner rush going home and then they go. But that's still a 12
Any
hour
kind of burger, whether it's uniform, conformed, or non-conformed, or smashed, or whatever, if it ain't on the right bun, it just doesn't
That
taste
was the question I was going to ask you, Stu. As far as how do you get that nice crispy, what I call the old fashioned, they flipped it on the grill. Is that
The butter
butter?
wheel. The butter wheel.
Yeah, butter wheel on the inside. You get some butter on it and then just toast it. That's really good. Now, when I was at St. Louis Market, we bake this incredible bread every day called a Tolero roll. And it was essentially a good Italian bread in the shape of a hamburger bun. I did not toast the inside of that. I did not put butter on the inside of that because it was an actual beautiful piece of bread. And I wanted you to have the experience of having a really good piece of Italian bread with a killer burger shoved in the middle of it. And so that one I didn't do, but if lucky, we had that sweet sourdough bun, butter wheel onto the griddle, nice golden brown on the inside, a little touch on the outside.
A long time ago, Bowling Alleys used to have some of the best darn hamburgers.
Yeah.
They use that butter wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rochelle's have something similar to that.
Yeah.
But I love that place more during the wintertime because I sit up at the bar where all the ovens are at.
They don't serve alcohol, y'all.
No,
You ain't doing that
But
part.
I sit up at the bar at the little old round stools, diamond stools,
Yeah.
and stay warm right there at that bar and eat my breakfast or whatever.
Randy said he had a lot of burger yesterday. And oh my goodness.
Randy, if you are referring to the place in Hurley, Mississippi, I have been meaning to try it, but it's right next to another place that also does a killer burger. And then there used to be a place in that purgatory between Sims and Georgetown on Lott Road when I was a kid called Lott a Burger, Lott, because it was on Lott Road. They did a good burger, and they had also, my grandfather would drive 6 hours to get soft serve ice cream.
Yeah.
And they had soft serve ice cream there.
Soft serve ice cream at the Jade Garden in Foley, Chinese restaurant, right across from the entrance of the center. Great, tastes like the vanilla ice cream is just like homemade. Just want to throw that in there real quick. But speaking of burgers,
yes,
everybody that I see on social media, especially the foodie sites, say that Double D's up there at Spanish Fort in where the container park is.
Oh yeah, the Fort.
Yeah, the Fort. Everybody's raving about her burgers. Double D burgers.
There used to be, I think it was Blues Burgers.
They were in there, but she's in there. They're not in there, but
Yeah.
she's in there. She might be the only vendor in there now.
Yeah.
But she's won several awards about, for Baldwin County being the best of Baldwin County.
So when are we going to do a burger crawl?
We need to do that.
A burger crawl.
Hmm.
I did one in LA, documented on my old blog.
LA, Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, the other, I'm sorry, other LA. I did one in other LA and documented on my blog.
That other LA.
Yeah, went to Umami Burger. In fact, one of the places I went, I took y'all to when we were there in Beverly Hills, Stout, which was the place we ate after the dinner. And everybody got chicken sandwiches because they were known for burgers, but we had burgers from lunch. I could eat a burger pretty much every meal. So it doesn't faze me. I have to control myself or I'll eat 6 or 7 burgers a week. That's not
Wimpy on Popeyes.
Yeah. I just, since I was a kid, I have loved burgers and pizza. And so that's why I get creative with them. And that's why I find healthy alternatives.
yeah, my pizza day's today. So yeah, I get it.
At this age, I can't afford to eat 7 burgers.
I'm having burgers today.
Yeah.
On onion rolls.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Little Chipotle.
But they'll be smashed burgers. I'll have to roll them in a little ball.
Yeah.
And they don't work good on a grill. You can't smash them in the grill.
No, yeah.
Where'd the burger go?
Yeah, that is definitely a skillet or flat grill.
Right.
Way of doing
One day
it.
I'm gonna own a Blackstone.
Yeah.
One day I will own a Blackstone.
All it takes is buying them.
I just want a double burner. I don't want the big 4. I'm gonna do pancakes and bacon and all that on it. Folks, get out there, support local, be local, buy local, because that's what we're all about on this show here.
Smash your burgers or don't smash your burgers. We won't judge you.
Yes, we don't judge here. We're no snobs.
And great cheeses are cheddar, pepper jack, and provolone.
What's the other thing we were going to do? You can say it nicely. Started the show with that.
Oh, it's probably a